Newport tastes smoother, smooth all the way. Newport's fresh menthol keeps it that way. Smoother and fresher, day after day. The smoothest tasting menthol cigarette.
What's going on?
Nothing, dear.
Newport tastes smoother, day after day. The smoothest tasting menthol cigarette.
When I was just a little girl, I asked my mother, what will I be? Will I be pretty? Will I be rich? Here's what she said to me. Whatever will be, will be.
Whatever will be, will be. I guess that's the answer, all right.
No title on this one? I don't really know what we're watching today, but maybe she'll clear it up.
But how do you make things come out right? What do you do? Believe me, it's something to think about.
Think about what? Is she talking in gibberish?
What was it that Hamlet said? Oh, and thus the native hue of resolution is sicklied o'er with a pale cast of thought, and enterprises of great pith and moment, with this regard their currents turn awry and lose the name of action.
Oh right, how could I have forgotten? I have no idea what this lady is talking about. What are we even watching? This film is called A Message to No One, and it was produced in Chicago by Wilding Picture Productions, Inc. The film was commissioned by the Champion Paper and Fiber Company in 1959 and revolves around a family with a bit of a listening problem.
I wonder what would happen if everyone in the world began to listen, really to pay attention to everything.
I understand sponsored films that teach you how to eat healthy or how to be safe, but an entire film about listening? What's a paper company doing sponsoring a film about listening? I don't quite see the connection.
To be or not to be? That is the question. Whether it is nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows. The slings and arrows of outrageous fortune. Oh yeah.
A Message to No One revolves around this family of four. There's Mom keeping the house together and quietly thinking to herself, Randy, who's memorizing Hamlet for school, and Patricia, who's just very loud in general. Both children seem to be bothering Arthur, the man of the house, who's trying to settle in after a long day at work.
That flesh is air too.
Stinky! Stinky, you come back here!
Ah yes, and who could forget Stinky, the family's pet skunk? That's strange. I'm not saying that people don't have pet skunks or anything, but it is a unique choice for the film to make. And it makes me think that Stinky is going to play an important role in the story, so keep an eye on him.
Outrageous fortune.
Stinky, why don't you pay attention to me?
Maybe because he's a skunk?
Tricia, I've told you 100 times to turn your radio down when you're not in your room studying. Now,
Oh, Daddy.
That is the question.
Go on, Stinky. Come on, let's go upstairs. I told you never to try and run away.
Whether it is nobler in mind to suffer the slings and the arrows of outrageous fortune.
I have to yell in the living room. If I'm not yelling in the living room, how am I supposed to memorize Hamlet?
What am I going to do with you? You can't take care of yourself without my help. If you were a real skunk, it'd be different. But we had to have you civilized so you could come and live with us.
That's kind of a terrifying statement she just made, isn't it? You can't take care of yourself without my help. Normal skunks can, but we had to have you civilized so you could come live with us. So yeah, I forced you to depend on me, but would you stop running away and let me love you already?
So, Stinky Baby, you're just going to have to learn to stay inside. Well, you have friends. Don't ever go outside without your leash. And me, to keep you safe. You wouldn't want to be dead, would you?
All right, Patricia scares me, and I'm feeling genuinely sad for Stinky, so let's see what the rest of the family is up to.
To die to sleep no more, and by asleep to say we end the heartache.
Well, Randy is still shouting Hamlet lines in the living room, but somehow Dad is able to completely tune him out.
Oh dear. There goes Arthur reliving his day at the office again.
As you all know from your advance notices, what we're considering here is the possible value.
Whoa, sick transition. That's some movie magic right there. That was nice.
Is the possible value of a course of study and practice in the art of listening.
Arthur, buddy, I don't mean to diminish your presentation or anything, but listening? It's an important skill, sure, but it kind of seems like a presentation you might give to kindergartners, not grown men.
Our good listener, of course, will use his eyes as well as his ears wherever he can. He will use all of his senses.
Now remember, my little businessmen, to not only listen with your ears, but with your eyes too, okay? Now let's move on to the budget reports for the evening.
Now, in a sense, the ability to listen well is the ability to assess one's own situation.
Arthur, are you listening to me? Arthur! Arthur! Feet off the coffee table.
Wah,
Arthur.
wah.
Randy, you better wash for dinner. It'll be ready in a few minutes.
Randy, you'd better wash for dinner. Do it now.
Come on, do it. Do it now. Come on.
Do it now. Teaching cannot be accomplished. Learning cannot be done. Efficient organization and operation are impossible without alert and positive listening on the parts of the persons involved.
Well, sure hope there's no quiz over this stuff. I haven't been listening to this crap. Arthur continues to flash back to his presentation throughout the film, apparently blind to the hypocrisy of not listening to his surroundings because he's too busy thinking of how cool he looked giving a presentation about listening to your surroundings. Also, he's kind of a dick.
Dad, can I have the car Saturday night?
Haven't you washed your hands yet? Go do as you're told.
Well, all right, I will.
Could I have handled that any better? You know, speaking of myself, I sure looked cool during that presentation today. If I could live in that moment forever, I probably would. Well, might as well try.
One way to strengthen an organization is to gain listeners who do not feel pressed to listen, but who are going along under their own power, able to lead themselves, and are wanting to listen in order to prosper in and with the organization.
Arthur, will you please wash for dinner? Randy, haven't you washed yet? I'm putting dinner on. Patricia! Patricia, put down that animal. Now you'll have to wash your hands again.
These people just need to wash their fucking hands already. They don't have a listening problem, they have an obeying problem. Maybe Mom should take a page out of Patricia's handbook and civilize the rest of the family so someone will use a bar of soap. Dum-de-dum, just walk into the bathroom. Here we... Hey, get out of the way, old man.
Arthur, I told you 100 times, don't wash your hands at the sink. Please use one of the bathrooms.
Oh my God, can you contain your excitement? Will he wash his hands? And in what sink will he wash them? And if this dimension isn't exciting enough for you, well, we've got this whole other one that exists only in Arthur's memory.
Anyone who can be called truly valuable and contributive can be said to be listening to himself in the sense that he's interpreting what he is hearing. But at the same time, he must go on hearing what the other fellow is saying. He must listen 2 ways at once, to his own thoughts and to his surroundings.
Arthur, give us some credit. We're grown men. We know what listening is. We just don't want to do it.
He listens with his whole being. One animal who doesn't have to pay attention to his surroundings, as far as I know, because he has a very effective way of requiring his surroundings to pay attention to him.
There it is. Just as I suspected, all roads lead to Stinky.
Arthur, we've been sitting here for some time now. Would you care to join us?
What? I was listening. I was listening 2 ways at once. I was listening with my whole being. I just wanted to stand here for a little while, that's all.
What were you saying about the plant, dear?
Well, we had a meeting, and I suggested we institute a program of study and practice in the art of listening. Listening, or paying attention. Listening is a skill. Now, there are certain techniques of concentration to be learned. Listening between the lines, to hear what no one has said, so to speak. I ran across an interesting book the other day that lists some of these common bad habits. Have you been listening to me?
Oh, I'm sorry, dear. What was it you were saying?
For the last 5 minutes? Well, oddly enough, I was talking about a book on listening. I remember particularly one paragraph in the chapter on critical listening.
Hey, here's a free little tip, bro. If you want your family to listen to you, maybe spare them the speech about listening for once. This guy's lucky not to live in the age of online dating. Nobody's gonna go for you if your only interests include listening, talking about listening, and thinking about other times I talked about listening.
I wonder what Randy does want. You certainly can't tell from the outside. Is there something the matter with your salad, Randy?
Huh? Oh, no, it's fine, Mom, thanks. I was just thinking about something.
Huh. Now, there's an example of listening for you. He's been thinking of something.
You know we don't allow thinking in this household. Passive aggressiveness, yelling, and skunks, sure, but thinking? Who raised you?
Oh, it's your night with the dishes, Randy.
Yeah, I know, but I got a lot of studying to do. That's Shakespeare stuff, you know. I don't see
Now,
why...
empty the wastebaskets. Now, something's going to have to be done with that. But, young man, you come back here and listen to me.
Okay, I heard you. Empty the wastebaskets.
I feel like we should be keeping score here. I think that's a point for Randy.
They're spilling over, every one of them.
Well, they shouldn't be. No one should put anything into a wastebasket that's already full.
What do you expect us to do? Stand around holding the stuff?
Well, if you put things in right, they wouldn't fill up so fast. Squash the boxes.
Look, we don't have waste paper around here just to give you something to do at your convenience. That's your job around here, and you keep up with it.
It's a fine job.
Well, there's nothing wrong with it. A real man lends dignity to any work he's given.
Well, if you'd buy big enough
Now, that's about enough out of you, young man. Just take charge of this job and do what I say. A man of your age...
Oh, forget it. I know the whole lecture.
Then why haven't you listened to it? No, you may not have the car Saturday night.
Me? Is he saying that to me? He looked right at me.
What?
You heard me. You asked before dinner if you could have the car Saturday night. No.
What?
I don't know about you guys, but I think I need a break from these two. Let's go see what the dynamic duo of Stinky and Creepy are up to.
Now, Stinky, you listen and do as you're told. I have to be firm with you for your own good.
Let me go.
You don't understand these things. And besides, I have to finish my geography lesson.
Well, they're just up to more of the same, I guess. This family's not super interesting. If they're not talking about listening, then they're probably discussing or yelling about Shakespeare.
There are a lot of things we know perfectly well are true, but we don't like to face them. It's kind of like your father said at dinner, people won't listen to what they don't like to hear. Well, you can take out the garbage now and we'll be all through.
Wait, is that one of the overflowing waste bins they were just yelling about earlier? It looks like there's 2 pieces of trash in that thing.
Oh, and watch that latch on the screen door. I wish someone would fix it.
Oh, what's that? Could that be the unmistakable stench of exposition? Patricia is in the middle of some serious critical thinking upstairs.
What's it like to be a skunk, Stinky?
It stinks.
To be real close to the ground, where you can see everything. Underneath logs and things. Or would it be better to be up high, where you can see farther, like a horse.
No way, man. I want to be low to the ground so I can look under logs, obviously. I mean, who knows what's under those things, right? Some dirt, maybe. Some dirt.
I think it would be fun.
Here he goes. Stinky's making a break for it. Go, man, go. I believe in you.
Oh, Stinky, I wish you could talk. You don't say a word. You might as well not be there.
Patricia's really freaking me out, man. If my pet can't talk to me, they might as well not even be there. I mean, she does know that there are people that can't talk, right? I wonder how she feels about them. Downstairs, there's more of the same from Arthur, Randy, and Mom. I'm not sure if she has a name, actually. Stinky is spotted making a break for it by Dad, but of course that just makes him think back on how amazing he looked giving that presentation earlier today.
I found something I might show at the first of these meetings. It's a half-hour motion picture entitled A Message to No One. I suppose the title refers to the idea that when no one is listening, the message is being wasted. The picture is one of a progressive series on ideas like communicating and productivity, and now listening. They're all sponsored by a paper company and presented as a public service. It's a rather indirect approach. There's never a thing in them about paper. This one happens to be about a family. The story depicts an evening in their life at home. Apparently, nothing very exciting happens in the picture, but I understand that it's supposed to be an exercise in listening. Now, gentlemen, I realize I've done all the talking. Are there any questions?
Yes, I have one. It seems to me that we've been bearing up fairly well for years without any of this newfangled falderall about listening.
Yeah.
To grunt and sweat under a weary life, but that the dread of something after death, the undiscovered country. To grunt and sweat under a weary life, but that the dread of something after death, the undiscovered country, from whose boundary no travel returns puzzles the will.
Oh my God, Stinky's almost there. He's almost free. I don't know that I'm supposed to want Stinky to run away, but I honestly think he's got a better shot of life outside of this house. Patricia seems pretty close to putting him down unless he starts shouting Shakespeare lines or something.
And thus the native hue of resolution is sicklied o'er by the pale cast of thought. My very words, Mom.
Where's Stinky? He's not upstairs. He had to come through the living room. Didn't anyone see him? Oh, Daddy, you did see him, and you didn't even notice.
Listen.
Listening. Daddy, all you do is sit and talk about... Daddy! They're under Stinky!
The screen door.
Who left it open?
Don't stay shut. Why didn't you fix that latch?
Yeah, and why do we have a pet skunk anyhow?
They'll get him! They'll get him! He can't do anything!
Come here, Dad.
I hate them. We've killed him. He can't run.
Oh, Patricia, honey, listen to me. You don't know. Oh, they might be able to. He might even. Oh, honey, please don't cry.
Oh yeah, ace comforting job there, Mom. They might be able to. He might even. I feel a lot better.
Mother, why are we standing here just listening?
Listening? Are we really listening? Or are we only hearing?
Huh? Oh, sorry, I wasn't listening.
Shall we go out?
And so the film hums to a close just as it began, but I think I'm left with more questions than answers. It's clear that A Message to No One has an intense focus on the subject of listening, but it doesn't seem to really show how or why listening is so important. Arthur sure talks about listening a lot, but nothing he says is very convincing. You can't just say the word listening a lot and say that I should do it and expect me to believe you. The hand-washing chronicles of 1959 sure didn't teach me about listening. In fact, all the non-listening children were the ones who got to wash their hands, and Lieutenant Listening himself ate with grubby fingers. Did Stinky escape because someone wasn't listening and didn't fix the screen door? Or did he escape because he was spotted wandering away from Patricia and nothing was done about it? The argument at the table was probably the most convincing case for listening. Arthur and Randy both had some strong points, but neither was really interested in hearing what the other had to say. The more I think about it, the more I think I get it. Listen to what Arthur says right after revealing that he literally lives inside the film that he's talking about.
Now, in addition to the motion picture, supplementary material is available for discussion groups and listening study courses, such as I'm proposing here today. It might be quite worthwhile, I don't know. But it is available, and we might as well have a look at it.
The film is only part of the story. Maybe there weren't even supposed to be any answers in the movie. Maybe it's all just questions, situations crafted to foster discussion about listening. And as long as we're speculating and asking questions, why was this film made? And by a paper company at that? My guess is that the Champion Paper and Fiber Company had an employee listening problem. Perhaps the son of the CEO worked there and wasn't listening very well. You can't fire the CEO's son, you can't chew him out. So I might as well make a film and discussion course about listening and force him to participate. What impressed me most about A Message to No One was the idea that they were all the embodiment of Arthur's presentation all along. That's not a bad plot twist for a sponsored film. It really makes you think. What if I'm just words on a page, or frames on a screen, or thoughts in somebody's head? Spooky. The one question I'd love to have answered for me, though, is what happened to Stinky? He makes a break from his oppressive captors, recognizes his opportunity with the broken screen door and seizes it. And then what? I think I'm being led to believe that he dies, but I mean, if you listen, it's not totally clear.
Come here, Dad. I hate them. We've killed him. We can't run.
Oh, Patricia, honey, listen to me. You don't know.
Randy says, "Come here, Dad," but maybe that's because he saw Stinky make some kind of superhero escape. You never know. In fact, legend has it that he's still out there somewhere. Some say that if you listen real close, you can almost hear him.
Sup?
Stinky?
Oh, hey man, how's it going?
Well, you know, terrible as usual. Why are you here?
Are you joking? Did you see me in that movie? I'm awesome. I can be wherever I want to be.
That's true, you were pretty cool.
I was great, man. I invented cool that day. And now, after escaping Patricia, that house, and those idiot dogs, I'm here to deliver you a very, very important message. Listen up.
All right, I'm listening.
Shut up! That was the message. Listen. Listen closely. Very, very closely. What was that?
Oh, that was just my printer over there. It's like a machine that puts words on paper.
Oh, okay. Weird. We didn't have those newfangled things in 1959. What kind of words does it print?
That's a good question, Stinky. Let's find out. Ask you something real quick, Stinky. Did you feel that?
Huh? Oh, sorry, I wasn't listening. Feel what?
This, just pay attention for a quick second, okay?
Listen to me, Ian, and listen well. Before I escaped the evil clutches of Patricia, do you know what I did?
Let me guess, you listened?
No, you stupid! I reflected on my current situation. You understand?
I don't think I understand what you're saying.
Listen, Ian, come on. I reflected.
If I were you, I'd be careful what emails you read out loud. They obviously know that we know what's going on behind the scenes. I thought I'd let you know as well.